NicholasAChristakis, Blueprint, The Evolutionary Origins of a Good Society. Delve into Blueprint, The Evolutionary Origins of a Good Society, and explore the fascinating world of human social behavior. Unpack NicholasAChristakis' idea that there is a universal blueprint for social behavior encoded in our genes, a collection of tendencies called the social suite, which governs our capacity for love, friendship, teaching, and learning. This captivating summary will guide you through the intriguing debate of nature versus nurture, the evolutionary advantages of the social suite, the role of love and friendship in human evolution, and the influence of our genes on cultural development. Be ready to engage with the very essence of what makes us human.
Unraveling the social suite. Even without a common language, people can bond and form friendships, as seen in Christakis' childhood experience in Turkey. A social suite within our genes provides a blueprint for social behavior, enabling humans to form societies of varying sizes. This suite includes the ability to love, befriend, teach, and learn, but also comprises a preference for our own group. Human nature exhibits an affinity for likeness, which helps in recognizing individual identities and forming personal connections. Understanding and embracing the universal social suite can benefit society as a whole. A young Christakis ventured to the Turkish island of Bayukada as one of the few Greek children there, yet he and his brother quickly formed connections with local Turkish boys. Despite cultural and linguistic differences, they shared incredible adventures and created lifetime bonds. As a social behavior researcher, Christakis later reflected on how these friendships were successful. The secret lies in a mental manual of social skills, instincts, and tendencies, the social suite, ingrained in each person. This universal blueprint for social behavior is encoded in our genes, enabling humans to form societies from small friendship groups to entire nations. The social suite comprises love, friendship, teaching, and learning, but also an inherent preference for one's own group. In a 2011 study, 5-year-olds wearing red shirts favored peers with the same color, even when told the colors were random. This indicates our innate bias for likeness. However, this inclination doesn't mean we see all similar people as identical. In fact, humans inherently possess the ability to distinguish and recognize individual identities. Personal names, a near-universal practice, exemplify this. Recognizing individuals provides the foundation for fostering love, friendship, and repaying favors. By acknowledging and embracing our social suite, we can better understand human relationships, harness our shared innate tendencies, and ultimately contribute to a more harmonious society. Shipwrecks reveal social nature. The nature versus nurture debate continues to challenge scientists seeking to determine human behavior patterns. Research struggles to examine if our actions stem from innate evolutionary traits or learned behavior. Shipwrecks can provide a unique perspective on human social behavior, revealing how innate traits guide and shape our interactions when separated from traditional societal norms. Two shipwrecks in 1864, the Inverclyde and the Grafton, displayed contrasting survival strategies, the former lacking solidarity and cooperation while the latter demonstrated the importance of shared responsibility and group cohesion. The determined existence of a blueprint for essential social behaviors reinforces the evolutionary advantage of cooperation and working together, especially in difficult situations. At its core, the nature versus nurture debate aims to decipher the origins of human behavior. Can our actions be traced back to our DNA, or are they a response to our environment? Uncovering this mystery can be an arduous task, as it would require ethically problematic studies of humans raised in isolation from society. However, insights into human social behavior can be gleaned from historical shipwrecks, situations where survivors are stranded in environments devoid of customary societal structures. In 1864, the Inverclyde and the Grafton crashed on opposite sides of Auckland Island, with each group of survivors unaware of the other's existence. The two groups approached survival in immensely different ways. The Grafton survivors showcased a strong sense of collaboration, with everyone working together in a cohesive unit from the very beginning. Their collective efforts saved the captain's mate, proving the social suite of behaviors played a vital role in their survival. On the other hand, the Invercalled survivors displayed a stark lack of unity and support. Members abandoned the weak and sick, went separate ways, and even resorted to cannibalism. In the end, only 3 of the 19 initial survivors were still alive. The Grafton group, however, persevered with unity. Their cooperation, captured in their establishment of a makeshift school while awaiting rescue, enabled them to maintain close social bonds and ensured the survival of all members. The contrasting experiences of these shipwrecked groups provide compelling evidence of the significance of social suite behaviors in human survival. These real-life case studies suggest that an innate blueprint for social behaviors, such as cooperation, teaching, and helping others, exists within humans. When removed from standard societal contexts, these intrinsic traits continue to guide our interactions with others. The evolutionary advantage conferred by our inherent social nature cannot be underestimated, especially when adversity strikes. The universality of love. Love is a universal aspect of human sexual relationships, deeply ingrained in our evolution. This powerful emotion originated in our connection to our offspring and eventually extended to our romantic partners, likely to protect the family unit during pregnancy and child rearing. While monogamy wasn't always the most practiced relationship style, its prevalence increased in the last 2 millennia, serving to create a more stable society as opposed to the problems that polygynous societies often face. While many may assume that certain aspects of human sexual relationships, such as kissing, are universal, that's not always the case. The Tsonga people of Mozambique, for example, do not partake in kissing and even find it bizarre. This raises the question, which traits of human sexual relationships can truly be found across all cultures? The answer is love. Love, as a deep emotional connection that transcends mere sexual attraction, is present in every culture. Some researchers propose that love was an evolutionary accident, originally felt only toward one's offspring. Over time, this emotional bond evolved to include romantic partners through a process called exaptation, similar to how birds first grew feathers for warmth and later for flight. Romantic love might have been favored by evolution because it helped families stay together during pregnancy and child rearing, thus increasing the likelihood of offspring survival. Over the past 2,000 years, monogamy has replaced polygyny as the dominant form of romantic relationships. Multiple factors contributed to this shift, but one significant reason might be found in the societal benefits of monogamy. In monogamous societies, each man has the opportunity to have a partner, whereas in polygynous systems, numerous men are left without wives. This disparity can lead to unattached men who feel no obligation to contribute to the future and may engage in antisocial behavior, such as violence and theft, destabilizing the society as a whole and diminishing its resources and productivity. Evidence of this phenomenon can be seen in modern countries like China, where sex-selective abortion practices have led to an imbalanced gender ratio with more men than women. Studies show that these leftover young men typically lead more violent lives and have shorter lifespans than their married counterparts. In conclusion, love serves as a universal, evolutionary foundation for human relationships, providing stability and protection for families throughout history. Regardless of cultural differences and practices, the need for love and connection is an essential part of the human experience. The universality of friendship. Xavier Dobson's brave act of sacrificing his life to save his friends prompts an exploration into the depths of human friendships. Evidence implies that the qualities of affection, trust, and mutual aid are universal across nearly all societies. While some aspects, such as disclosing personal information or physical contact, differ among cultures, the underlying concept of friendship remains the same. The evolutionary benefits of friendships include safeguarding survival in times of need without the expectation of immediate reciprocation. Today, this manifests in communities supporting each other with various resources. In 2015, Xavier Dobson valiantly protected his friends from a sudden attack, sacrificing his own life to ensure their safety. This profound act raised an important question: what drives us to love our friends so deeply? Encouragingly, research shows that friendship is a fundamentally human characteristic present nearly everywhere. Most cultures share the essential elements of affection, trust, and mutual assistance, along with embracing vulnerability. Recognizing that friends mean well allows us to be at ease around them, even when joking or teasing occurs. However, the way friendships are expressed can vary. While American culture values sharing personal details and consistent socialization, other regions may prioritize physical contact as a sign of friendship. A notable example occurred in 2005 when Americans were bewildered by President George W. Bush holding hands with Crown Prince Abdullah of Saudi Arabia, signifying friendship in Saudi Arabian culture. The core question, then, is what purpose does friendship serve? Experts theorize that developing and maintaining friendships provided evolutionary advantages for our ancestors. Early human society faced constant threats from lack of food, harsh weather, and various illnesses or injuries, endangering survival. To overcome these challenges, it was crucial to establish relationships with people who could be depended upon for help without continuously expecting something in return, genuine friends. Even today, this concept holds true. In less affluent American communities, people frequently rely on their friends for necessities such as childcare, loans, and home repairs, demonstrating the ongoing importance of friendships in our lives. Exploring cooperation in a digital world. In 2005, Amazon introduced the Mechanical Turk platform, which revolutionized the way social scientists conducted research by enabling them to create artificial communities of users. With this powerful tool, the author and his team investigated whether users would continue to exhibit universal social behaviors or if this unique, online environment would inspire new behaviors. By designing experiments focused on cooperation within these communities, the author discovered that while cooperation appears to be an innate human trait, it is delicate and easily dismantled under certain circumstances. Amazon's Mechanical Turk, a system created to manage and compensate thousands of part-time workers, paved the way for groundbreaking research opportunities in social science. With this platform, researchers could form artificial communities and observe user responses to various tasks. Intrigued by the potential insights, the author and his team embarked on a quest to study the so-called social suite of behaviors among Turk users and examine how they cooperate in an online setting. Key to understanding human behavior is the capacity for cooperation, a trait uniquely manifest in our species. To assess the prevalence of this behavior within Turk users, the author's team devised an experiment encompassing 40 distinct social networks, with users assigned randomly. Within these networks, individuals were faced with a decision: keep a sum of money or give it to a neighbor, with the understanding that the recipient would gain double the amount. This scenario presented users with a choice: should they cooperate and potentially earn more or opt for self-preservation and secure less? The results revealed a striking pattern: when everyone chose to donate, cooperation emerged as the norm. However, the moment one member began to retain their funds, a cascade of defection ensued. While the study suggests cooperation is inherent in human behavior, these findings also underscore the fragility of this instinct, which can easily falter under particular conditions. Unveiling our animal connections. Animals and humans are more alike than we initially believed, sharing many characteristics, thanks to a process called evolutionary convergence. This process has led multiple species to develop similar social traits, which are advantageous for survival in shared social environments. Examples include cooperation, individual recognition, and social learning found in humans, elephants, whales, and apes. Our worlds are closely intertwined with animals, sometimes more than we realize. For instance, did you know that pig heart valves are used to replace damaged human heart valves? It was French surgeon Alain Carpentier's groundbreaking technique in 1964 that remains in practice today, showcasing our biological similarities with animals. But our connections to animals are not just skin deep, they manifest in more subtle and sophisticated ways as well. Accumulated evidence reveals that elephants form friendships, gorillas use their own language, and rats experience empathy. Our social behaviors even parallel those of Capuchin monkeys that demonstrate trust by allowing conspecifics to gently bite their fingers. So, what's the reason behind these shared behavioral traits among various species, including humans? The secret lies in the concept of evolutionary convergence, when diverse species independently develop similar adaptations due to facing similar environments. A well-known example of this is seen in birds and bats, which both evolved the ability to fly, albeit separately. Likewise, humans and other species, such as elephants, whales, and apes, developed comparable social traits, cooperation, recognition of individual identities, and social learning. This convergence occurs because all these species have experienced nearly identical social environments throughout their evolution. Living within groups of the same species, these animals, including humans, had to interact, coexist, and cooperate to survive. Consequently, individuals possessing more social attributes like trust and friendship were better equipped for this social environment. These individuals were more likely to reproduce and transmit their social genes to the next generation. The most sociable offspring had a higher survival rate, and this process of natural selection continued until the emergence of an optimal social behavior pattern. Today, we recognize this repertoire of shared social behaviors as the social suite, repeatedly appearing across different species around the globe. Our bond with animals is more profound than we might have once thought. Awareness of these connections may grant us a greater appreciation of the creatures that inhabit our Earth and the complexity of the social environments we share. Culture, key to human survival. The human species has thrived in diverse environments across the globe, thanks to our unique ability to develop culture. Culture, an evolutionary adaptation, is the knowledge transmitted within a group, impacting our behavior. Our genetics equip us with long lives and psychological features, such as our inclination to conform and imitate older individuals, fostering cultural development. Like natural selection, culture evolves and becomes better adapted to our ever-changing surroundings. Moreover, it's indispensable for survival, as highlighted by European explorers who relied on natives' cultural knowledge to endure in foreign lands. Throughout history, humans have managed to inhabit various corners of the world, from the freezing Arctic to the bustling Amazon rainforests. What secret ingredient fueled our ability to survive such drastically different environments? Surprisingly, it's our genes that have provided us the power to develop culture. In an evolutionary context, culture signifies knowledge transmitted within a group, which influences individual behavior. Moreover, culture is an adaptation shaped by natural selection, as specific genes allow us to create culture. These genes grant us long lives, offering ample opportunities to pass on information among generations. We also possess several psychological traits that make us perfect conduits for culture, such as our yearning for conformity and our propensity to imitate the behavior of older individuals. This imitation can be observed even in young children, who mimic everything they see adults do. Cultures, much like natural selection, can evolve and adapt to meet the challenges of changing environments. As better ideas emerge and become part of a group's traditions, they enable a cultural evolution. Culture is more than just a handy tool, it's crucial for our survival. The importance of cultural knowledge becomes apparent when we recall the European explorers who ventured into unknown territories. These adventurers often perished due to a lack of familiarity with their surroundings, their clothing disintegrating, their tools losing utility, and food and water supplies dwindling. Those who managed to survive were the ones who engaged with the locals, learning how to locate resources, prepare potentially toxic plants and tap into the medicinal properties of the area's flora. The cultural knowledge these natives held was essential for the explorers' survival, showcasing the indisputable value of culture in human resilience and adaptation.
As we conclude our journey through the blueprint of human social behavior, we gain a deep understanding of the profound connection between our genetics and our interactions. The social suite, present in almost every society, reveals key insights into love, friendship, teaching, and learning. These innate abilities served an evolutionary purpose, providing our ancestors with a competitive edge in survival. As we continue to explore the age-old nature versus nurture debate, we must recognize that our genetic and cultural makeup intertwines, shaping who we are and fostering the growth of our societies. With its instructive and engaging narrative, Blueprint, The Evolutionary Origins of a Good Society, reminds us of the power of human connectedness and our shared universal traits.